introduce everybody that's part of, like with Eric and all.
Sounds like a plan. Well, again, good evening, US. Good morning, Philippines. Welcome to the Strategic Planning Part 1. So we're very excited. This is Emporium Masterclass. This is the fourth class of the series, and we're just super excited to have everybody here tonight. My name is Christine. I'm one of the founders of Emporium together with Ferdinand Soriano and my counterpart, Christina Espiritu. So if you are looking for anything from A to Z in regards with shipping, logistics, FDA compliance, any questions, or marketing your brand here in the United States, especially in California, we can help you with that. So enough about my spiel. I want to talk about the people that are part of this panel. And we super duper honored for them to be a part and impart their knowledge in regards with getting your products here in the United States. First, I'd like to introduce a few people. First, I'd like to introduce Eric Elnar. He is our representative and has been super helpful in getting Emporium out there. So thank you so much, Eric. He is from Department of Trade and Industry, Mr. Eric Elnar.
Thank you, everyone, for having me here, and also excited to hear about what our experts could say about marketing in the US.
Perfect. Oh, a man of a few words.
I like that.
I like that.
I thought he was going to at least utilize a whole solid minute. I like it. He's very prompt. I like that, Eric. At the end of the day, we think of you very highly. You've been very supportive in all the things that we're doing, and that's why you're welcome to say whatever the heck you want at this point. So, but if you're only going to take 10 seconds, we'll take that too. But if you want to say more, go ahead and do that. We asked you here because obviously you're a big part of the talks, and a lot of the things that we continue to do has always been something that you have given us feedback on. And it's really helped us a lot in that regards. So we're very thankful for the feedback. We're feedback for the cheerleading support and all that, because at the end of the day, we're working for the bigger picture, right, Eric and Christine?
So true, so true. Again, thank you, Eric. And then I am given the privilege to also introduce our moderator for today. Ready? Are you ready, Ferdinand?
No, not yet. I have to go to the bathroom first. Let me go to the bathroom first again. I'm getting nervous.
No, Ferdinand, who is actually the founder, procurement and logistics manager, is a logistics specialist as well for Planet 63. He's a host. He's a podcast producer. He's actually one of the fellows for the California State University San Bernardino Center for Global Access Program. He is also a marketer, organizer, product presenter, speaker, social media marketer, relationship builder, customer service, business development, analyst, logistics, and many more, right? So again, when we say one-stop shop, Ferdinand is your man. So again, thank you, Ferdinand, for having. I'm gonna turn off my video, but it's on you. It's all you, man.
You made me go to sleep with that intro, but it's okay. You know, the $5 was worth it, Christine. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I am glad to hear that.
All right. This is the part where I'd like to formally welcome everybody, because we do have to create some sort of professionalism here and not just be goofy about things. But thank you, Christine. Thank you, Eric, for being here. A lot of your time, everybody's time is very valuable. So again, this will be a marketing seminar or marketing webinar, strategic marketing, and specifically for Philippine products. So with me, I just want to welcome everybody here in the U.S., but also, do the professional greeting. Good evening, everybody in the U.S., and magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat in the Philippines. And by the way, I can do more Philippines, but it's going to sound really weird. Anyway, welcome to the Emporium here in Southern California, United States. And that's what we're here. We're here now, Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. And my name is Ferdinand Soriano from Planet 63. I love saying that. And the co-founder of the Emporium, and along with my team, Christine Consunji, as well as Christina Espiritu. Thank you so much, Christine, for doing the intro. And I want to thank all of you. I know that people will slowly trickle in. So my strategy is to talk, not because I like hearing myself. Well, I don't know, maybe, but the reality is that I can see now people are starting to come in. And I don't want to start anything knowing that they're going to miss important tidbits of information. Now, I want to welcome all of you. And again, like I said, my name is Ferdinand. We love feedback. So anybody right now who's in the call, please type in the reason, if you have a question, because I'm sure you're not here like, okay, I have nothing better to do, so I'm just going to go there. You have a question. So I would appreciate it if you could type it in the chat right now. Just take a few seconds to type in what you're hoping to get out of the seminar, which is the most important thing for us, because this will play on our YouTube channel. You can listen to it again. But if we didn't address the things that you want, I feel like we didn't do anything. And a lot of the people that are in the panel, they want to be helpful also. They want to know that they're talking about something that's useful, because I've spoken to them one on one, and I told them that please make it succinct, make it to the point, make it practical. But if there's, we're going to focus on question and answer. So please do that. Use the chat box, put some questions. And then if you can, please share this to people who maybe didn't see the advertising or, the promotion on social media. All right. And those for those who may not be familiar with Emporium, just really quick, Emporium is a premier and essential Philippine product showroom and global business center. We can talk about that a little bit later. I just felt like I needed to tell you that, but its purpose is to really create awareness for Philippine products, services, and investments in the US market, and create not only awareness, but the important thing is really create sales opportunity. It's fine telling everybody how wonderful Philippines is, but we need to create interaction. We need to create transaction in terms of that, so that we can create opportunities in the Philippines also, and livelihoods and things of that nature to do all that. So with that being said, the thing that I wanted to touch on really quick is that the team, people that are in the panel right now, they didn't get a chance. They're not going to be able to have a chance to really talk all about who they are. And I said that in as a favor only because I want them to get to the point. I want them, everything that they're going to say to you is going to be meaningful, right? So like in the 10 years that I've been doing this in this business, one of the questions that I get from Philippine manufacturers all the time is, how do I market their products? How do I sell my products? Where do I sell my products? And where do I find the buyers? That's the most popular question. And I wish I could answer all of them. And tonight, I'm hoping that we get to do all of that and give you some ideas on how you can approach the US market. Now, this webinar is titled Strategies in Marketing Philippine-Made Products in the US Market. Based it on, we're going to talk about strategies, samples, and ideas. Now, the format is we're introducing 4 speakers who we have asked to be a part of this event because they're their specialty when it comes to marketing. Each will introduce themselves and identify their marketing specialty, and then they will mention particular examples in how they have helped some effectively market their product in the US market, or what is their potential to be able to help people or Philippine manufacturers or exporters to promote their product in the US. Then after all that, we'll get right into the question and answer. So let's go ahead and introduce the first one. I'd like to go ahead and introduce Ray Ibanez. He is the marketing manager for Liquorama. He's also a consultant. So Ray, I'm going to introduce everybody else, right? But if you want to raise your hand as I send your name so they'll know who you are. Ray Ibanez, like I said, a marketing manager for Liquorama. Jay Ungos, Tag Network. He's a digital owns a digital marketing company. May Cruz, Global Business Impact. She owns Global Business Impact, is a consulting company and also specializes in store marketing. And then last but not least, and I say that his name is Paul Mirador. He is from Filipino Shopping Network. So let's go ahead and go do the round robin thing, and we'll start with Paul. Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about a little bit about Filipino Shopping Network and how do you use Filipino Shopping Network to market Philippine products.
Thank you, Ferdinand. Thank you for having me on this program. How much time do I have?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, put the stopwatch right there. Hello, everyone. Paul Mirador with the Filipino Shopping Network. What Filipino Shopping Network is about is like, think of it as like Amazon or Etsy, but we exclusively market products made by Filipinos anywhere in the world. So even if you're in the Philippines or Switzerland, it doesn't matter as long as it's a Philippine-made product. If it's your idea, your concept, you made it yourself, and you're a Filipino, you're welcome to promote your products on our website. We're exclusively promoting products made by Filipinos. And so basically, like I said, we're a drop ship company, and that's how pretty much Amazon kind of started. And eventually, we want to bring in apparels, to books, to handbags, purses, jewelry, and so on. Anything that anything that can be used, except for consumables. We're not doing anything that can be eaten or consumed simply because of allergy reactions from other people. So we don't want to have that liability at this time. However, we do make some exceptions, like Filipino coffee, maybe the liquor, and we're open to that. But as far as other food or edible items and consumable items, and skincare and so on, we are not looking into that area right now. We have products coming from Switzerland. We have products coming from UK, and actually from Zurich also recently, and Zurich, Germany. And yeah, we wanted to exclusively promote Philippine-made products. I guess I can, that's all I can say about that. If there's any questions, I know I got 8 more minutes, but I only took 2 minutes. But you want to open it for questions, Ferdinand?
Yeah, the thing that, since you were kind enough to to be cheap with the time, meaning like you only took 2 minutes, right?
Right.
Frugal. Go ahead, and what I'm focused on with you is that it's just another venue to create awareness for Philippine products, because obviously, take us to that. I mean, we've talked about growing this thing like a home shopping network, like you said, right?
Right. Okay. I didn't want to give away too much, spill the beans and everything, but I'm currently speaking with media, with TV networks and so on, because we're gonna take this into like a home shopping network style, like QVC. I don't know if you guys see that in the Philippines, but we have QVC, Quality Value Care. We have Home Shopping Network, HSN, and we have these shows that people can buy products online and watching them live on TV. So eventually, we're going to have the same thing. We're going to, I've got, like I said, I'm speaking with other TV networks right now that are interested in putting our contents in there. And eventually, I'm going to need a lot of suppliers and vendors, because we can only show so much depending on the number of products that we have in stock. So we'd like to invite, suppliers that would like to promote their products on TV and social media. So, without going into details, but we wanted to have a local channel, but also we're going to have a social media. We're going to have Google TV. We're going to be on Facebook. We're going to be on Twitter, Instagram, and so on. All linked. Live streaming and so on. You can buy online, you can on the website, or you can call in to place your order. Operators going to be standing by, hopefully from the Philippines, so we're going to outsource the calls to the Philippines, forward the calls there to take in the calls. But we're offering this right now as be grandfathered in. Let's put it this way. Pitch your product, promote your product on our site before it goes on air. Because once it goes on air, a lot of people, a lot of suppliers are going to be interested in putting their products on the show. So then we're going to hire, some manpower to answer the calls, to take in the orders, to process the orders, and so on. And we're going to have to charge suppliers for coming onto the show, because production costs. But right now, it's free, doesn't cost anything to get on our platform. And while we're building up the number of products on our website.
Well, the last thing that I wanted to that you're not saying to the audience is that pre-pandemic, we were already talking about this, and you ran with the idea of the concept, and this was even before live selling. So more than anything, the what you're doing now and building this brand is that you are definitely going to write on the whole thing about live selling. And I think that's going to be promising for you because everybody's doing that. And to me, it's just a matter of how do you perfect it in terms of the buying, process, and how do you transact and things of that nature. But right now, everybody's all about live selling, Paul.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because even before pandemic happens, QBC and HSN and other home shopping shows have been increasing. So then when pandemic happened, there have been a lot of people looking into buying and shopping online. So that became a habit, and now it became a lifestyle. Now a lot more people don't want to shop out there anymore, not only because they're afraid to get infected, but they don't want to be with a bunch of crowded people to shop in the stores. If they can buy it online, then there it is. And you think about it, there's not a whole lot of Filipino stores in the US. Let's talk about Los Angeles. I don't know about Texas and Minnesota and so on, but let's talk about Los Angeles. There's only so many Seafood City and Island Pacific that can hold certain products in their stores. Seafood City and Island Pacific is not in every city. So in some region, in some area, you might have to drive an hour or two to Seafood City or Island Pacific away from your town just to shop for Filipino products, right? Well, what if you
Right.
can buy it online? If you think about it, if you watch TV in the US here, uh, you can flip through to channels. You can see the Koreans, the Japanese, the Vietnamese, the Chinese. They all have, even the Hispanic, of course, they all have a home shopping show. How come there's no Filipino shopping? And that is the big question. We've been here a lot longer than the Koreans, and they have their own Korean show, right? So it's time for us to produce our own shows here. We don't need to have to import our shows from the Philippines, like the drama series and so on, if we can produce our own shows here. That's the difference, right?
Mhm.
We have to be able to carry our own weight and show what we have. There's enough people here that enough experience and talents to make this happen. We just need to work together. The
Definitely,
products we're
Paul.
buying from the Philippines are, affecting and helping the indigenous people in the Philippines by providing them work, income, and basically this is our way of supporting the indigenous people in the Philippines. I'm
No,
sorry. Go ahead.
you're absolutely right. And the thing, like I said, it's just another method in which how to enter, because I'm practical in the sense, and everybody I think gets what the platform is about. I'm more about, okay, there's a Philippine manufacturer out there. There's a platform called Filipino Shopping Network. How do I get on there? What can, how can my product be exposed? Because there's different types of thought process when it comes to marketing. There are, right now, obviously you could do e-commerce and just post and people will order. But I think what potentially could happen with with the platform Filipino Shopping Network, and by the way, thank you for collaborating with us on all of that stuff, is that again, you're going to be able to bring Philippine products in a different light, in a different perspective. It's not just live selling per se, because some of the live sellings are cool, but it's not very, I think if you can bring the level of live selling to another level with the show, that's going to be fantastic, where they can take advantage of that, because the demographics just on Southern California alone is enormous. Even if your reach is just that all already is a great entry point for any Philippine manufacturer that wants to promote or at least get some market data as far as how to bring awareness to the product. So Paul, with that being said, I will go to the next guest, but hopefully that we'll have questions, question and answer after everybody's done their presentation. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you,
Um,
Ferdinand.
the next professional I'd like to bring up, he is the marketing manager for a company called Liquorama. The reason why I brought him into our discussion is that his knowledge is what intrigues me, because there's a lot of amazing Philippine beverages, alcoholic beverages, if for all that matter, that can be here, but they need to be encouraged that there is a method in which how to bring attention to that product, because I'm sure our next guest or presenter is not about just a particular brand, or it's all about quality. It doesn't matter where they come from, but if he can give you some perspective on how to do that, price points, packaging, and how he markets the inventory in his company, that'll be very valuable to everybody. So with that being said, please welcome Ray Ibanez. Hey Ray, what's up?
Hey, thank you, Ferdinand. So yeah, my name is Ray Ibanez. Been a marketer for about 15 years now. I specialize in the liquor industry, wine, spirits, beer. So the company I work for, Liquorama.net, we're one of the largest online liquor stores in the United States. We've been around for 20 years. And, like Ferdinand said, I've helped build awareness for a lot of different brands out there. Mostly local American brands, a lot of Hispanic brands. And, I started reaching out to some of the Filipino companies. I found some rum makers. I found a lambanog maker named Papa J's. I found them on Instagram, and that's where everyone's at, online, on Instagram, on TikTok. I've reached out to them, brought in their product, and, now we're selling a lot of it. It's one of our best selling products right now. And what I want to do is I want to reach out to these Filipino companies, and I want them to start growing their brand here. I want them to, start making the money, because one of the hottest products right now in spirits is actually tequila. And 10 years ago, you thought tequila, oh, that gross drink with the worm in it, that gives you the bad hangovers, right? No one was a big tequila drinker back in the day, but right now it's the hottest segment in liquor. And I've seen the prices go up year over year for tequila because they're just marketing it better. There's a taste for it here in the United States. But I thought to myself, well, why not Filipino brands? Why not rum? Why not Filipino beer? So what I want to do is I want to reach out to some of the manufacturers in the Philippines, and I want to help them bring their product here. I want to help them market online, especially when it comes to social media. Right now TikTok is all the rage. Right now, I've been helping move cases and cases and cases of tequila through posting on TikTok. But I think I can do that with, Filipino brands, especially rum. The Philippines is one of the biggest rum producers in the world, but how come they're not selling much of it here? There's only a handful of brands. Bruno Mars, everyone in the Philippines knows Bruno Mars, right? He's part Filipino. He's got a rum company. It's not made in the Philippines, So I want to bring that awareness to the American market. We're the biggest market when it comes to spirits, and why not the Philippines? Basically, that's basically what I'm here. I want to help anyone out there who's got a beverage company, not just liquor, but beverages in general are getting big here. We have a big store here called Costco. I'm sure all the Americans here, we all know Costco, right? Walked through Costco the other day. They got calamansi juice. So, the potential is there when it comes to Philippine-made beverages. So that's one of the reasons I'm here. I want to help facilitate that, bring the products here, market it, and get the name out there, basically.
Yeah, all the things that you're doing, that's what I'm actually just trying to, Imporm's trying to do, is just impart these wisdoms as far as that's concerned. Because again, when I talk to a Philippine manufacturer, and maybe Eric has different experiences, that a lot of it is choosing how to enter the US market, whether it be through a distributor, through maybe a manufacturer's rep, or just doing social media and doing e-commerce, doing everything online. So your perspective and you collaborating with Emporium it's important to us, only because then you can continue to maybe advise some people on how to do that. Because like you said, it's not about alcohol, just alcohol in specifically. It could be any product, could be any beverage, really.
Yeah.
But because of your network and how long you've been with Liquorama, that's something that has a lot of value, I think. And all they really have to do is reach out to you and see if they can maybe consult with you and find out how you can possibly help them, or at least give them some perspective.
Yeah, exactly. If you need any help when it comes to spirits, beverages, internet marketing, e-commerce, I'm here to help.
Okay, perfect. Ray, I appreciate the feedback, and at the end, hopefully, we'll have questions that specifically about that. But again, Ray is not about just the alcohol.
Yeah.
It's all about the whole process and how he does that with the alcoholic products. Now, I'd like to bring up as our next guest. I mean, I've known her for quite a while, and she shares the same passion as I do in terms of bringing Philippine products into the U.S. market. She has a company called Global Business Impact. She used to be in the Philippines and helping the province of Bulacan to promote their products here. But now she's here and giving a perspective of what it's like to market products here from the Philippines. So with that being said, she is the CEO of a company called Global Business Impact. So she's a consultant, but her company specializes in what she and I call in-store marketing. And I'll let her explain that. And May, you got 10 minutes to go ahead and dazzle them with what you do. So please do that. And then maybe we can get people to be insightful and really see what you bring to the table and being able to market Philippine products here in the US.
Thank you, Ferdinand. Like you've mentioned, we have the same passion. That's why when you told me about Emporium, I jumped in right away. And my experience in-store marketing is for, I think, more than 2 decades already. When I started in the Philippines with my own company of selling um, specialty food products from Bulacan, I've joined trade shows, trade events all over the Philippines, as far as Cebu, um, and the big malls over there when I was still based in the Philippines. And I worked for 5 years. I'm not sure if there are who joined us from PICEDO, the Provincial Cooperative and Economic Development Office of Bulacan. I worked as a project development officer there for 5 years before I decided to move here. So I really started with joining trade events, and now when I started here in the US, I also joined one of the major film events here in LA. It's Film Expo, which was, but it stopped in, I think, in 2012. That was the last time that they had the event there at LA Convention Center. But that was the beginning in 2006. And then when I started doing also the same here in the US, I was commissioned by mostly telecom networks here in the US to help them with in-store marketing. I started with Vonage when there was still the VoIP thing. So I've done in-store marketing since then, and then I also helped out with Smart World when they had their network here, PLDT Smart, and then I also was commissioned by the state to handle in-store marketing for the free phone program here in California, and several other companies that I've I've done several in-store marketing. And now, like we did last year, our collaboration, Ferdinand, was the hybrid pop-up event that we did inside Seafood City, where we brought in products from the Philippines in store, inside the biggest grocery store here, Filipino grocery Asian store here in our area. So with the Emporium, I'd like to bring in products from the Philippines as well, and bring it to the Emporium and do the in-store or inside the location, inside the emporium, selling of their products.
May see what's going
Yeah.
to happen here is that you I like I said, you don't have enough time to explain it, right? But a lot of
Yeah.
people may find value in what you're saying only, but I know that you've been challenged a little bit with pre-pandemic, but here's the beauty of it. To a
Uh-huh.
certain degree, US is a little bit better, in terms of a little bit more free, and to go back into doing those things when it comes to in-store marketing, right? So to me, the relevance of it is now, again, because of how we are in the US, those things might start to come back slowly. But at the
Yes.
same time, depending on how you use technology, and you've used technology to be able to broadcast what you do in store, as to create attention, because now the technology enables you to expand your reach, not just technically in the store.
Mm-hmm.
When we
Yeah.
did the event, a lot of people from the Philippines saw their product being shown in the grocery store at Seafood City, and there was a lot of pride in that, and that's empowering to a lot of the people. That's why, like, for example, I know Betty's on the call. I'll use her as an example. If we were able to show that product and have it tasted and sampled by the people at Seafood City, that would have been amazing, to at least get market data on how people like the product. Even on a simple situation, right? She could have had product tasting there, and
Yeah.
without the companies investing so much money on those initial market research, that's probably what a lot of Philippine manufacturers are concerned with. And by the way, that's why I like this video, because this can be seen later, and hopefully all of your comments is not just about your product, who you are, but your perspective and how we can move Philippine products out into the marketplace, right, May?
That's right. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go back to you a little bit later when it comes to the question and answer, because I promised everybody to do that. Thank you, May, for doing the presentation, introducing
Thank
yourself.
you.
The fourth presenter that I'd like to introduce everyone, I didn't necessarily save him for the best for last, because all of our presenters have their own perspective and how to move Philippine products, or how to plan Philippine products in terms of marketing here in the US. But I say them because every time we talk about what we're doing, I find our conversations funny, empowering in many ways, because I've known this gentleman for a while. I've known him in another industry, and I promised him I wouldn't tell everybody what in that industry was. I'm just kidding, Jay. But anyway, he has grown a company where, to me, I think a lot of Philippine manufacturers may not be fully aware of the power of it in terms of the way you market the product. But again, I'm still learning a little bit more about it. When everybody talks about digital marketing, they just think of social media, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. But there's more to that. So I'm going to get our next guest to just explain all of that, who he is, how amazing his company is, and how he has helped other companies, whether they're Philippine or not Philippine brand owners, market their products digitally. So with that being said, please welcome Jay Ungos.
Thanks, Ferdinand. Hello, everybody. My name is Jay Ungos. I started my company about 10 years ago. Actually, it's going to be over 12 years in 2010. Ferdinand, I met Ferdinand back, I guess it was early 2000s, not to age myself. But we were in a pretty lucrative industry. And then, in 2010, took a leap of faith, became an entrepreneur, started my own technology company. And just a little bit of personal background. I actually immigrated here from 81. My family, we were here. I didn't speak a word of English, assimilated very well, got naturalized, and now living the American dream, man. There's so much opportunity right now that, that's what I want to share with you. So, the first things first, what my bread and butter is, I create digital applications. It's all about building your digital foundation for your brand, whether you offer products or services. That's crucially important, especially in the mobile marketplace and the digital marketplace we live in now. You need an application, a digital foundation where you could connect everything that you're doing in social media to your digital marketing, to your emails, anything front facing you're gonna need. Because once you've done that well, then it's all about, capturing all that data and being able to create your own network and community. Whether you're a product person, brand, it doesn't matter. You need to definitely create solid foundations. And what I mean by that, I've worked with companies. We've created applications with digital marketing strategies from the biggest wholesaler in water, Metropolitan Water District. They sell $1 trillion of water. I work with Southern California Edison, which is one of the biggest utility companies out here. We just picked up a contract with Charter Communications. They're one of the biggest communications companies in the US. So the question you want to ask yourself is, who do you want to market to? I know we talk about Filipino community. You guys are in the Philippines, so are you marketing to the Filipinos in the US? Well, I challenge you to think bigger and go after all the demographics out here, because now we're a majority minority. That's been such a big, huge push where now the Asians are really taking over. And I'm talking to you guys need to get really excited, because we are now the majority minority. And that means that the whole United States is really pushing for diverse small businesses. Okay. So that means there's so many resources that's available to us. So whether you're in the Philippines, you could find ways to come here, get representation, start a small business, get certified as a minority or small business, and then you have the audience of these big Fortune 500 companies to be able to play ball with you. And that's huge. I do that during my community serving. I mean, my full-time job is my digital marketing, right? Technologies, how I bridge the gap. You need to be able to do that. But now let's start thinking beyond just digital marketing and tools, because those are just tools. You need to be able to apply it in your business to be able to connect with the marketplace where you could really expand your brand. So how are you going to do that? You got to really focus on which marketplace you want to go after. If you guys are focusing on the Filipino market out here, then we can create a digital foundation that will bridge it, but then you're going to need some advocates. You're going to need resources here that are boots on the ground within to infiltrate these Filipino communities. So that's partnering with organizations like COFAC, the coalition, where there's 25 chambers where you could create Zoom presentations. You could connect with TFC. You could connect with, it's what Paul said, being able to connect with these TV stations out here, and then being able to bridge your products and services onto your product. We could bridge that for you. But then there's also what I talked about earlier, which is being able to infiltrate the US market. How are you going to do that? A lot of these companies, even the cities now, are really looking to be able to look for diverse small businesses, whether you're Filipino owned, Asian owned, Japanese owned. They don't care. They want to do business with you. There's a separate spending budget, and we're talking in the millions and billions here. That's why it's such a huge opportunity that they're looking to spend that for diverse businesses, which is us. We're minority, we're small businesses. So it's really understanding how the market is out here. There's so many resources that we could tap into. You just have to really focus on what market you want to go after. And then with technology, like Ferdinand said, and what Ray said, and all these other tech guys are saying, that's what bridged the gaps. But having that solid strategy is key.
The thing that's resonating in my mind when you're talking, and I'm sure all the marketers here are the same thing, is that, like you said, I'm going to ask Eric this question because it's heavy on my mind, because a lot of Philippine manufacturers that I talk to, with no disrespect here, I sometimes get the feeling that they at least the one that I talk to, I have to always preempt this comment because I don't want to offend or say anything that's gonna seem mean, but I'm not. It's just that I feel that when you say the US market, even I and Christina's here, we don't necessarily talk about the US entire market, because that would be stupid to say that we can introduce you to the US market, because the US market is so huge that each one is sort of a pocket on their own. It's like their own little world. The Midwest, the Southwest, the Northeast, everybody has a different style. That's why when Emporium talks about the US market, we're really focusing on Southern California only because we know that area, or California in general. But if somebody tells you that it's amazing to, US, yeah, it's great. But sometimes I want to sort of provoke the the Philippine manufacturers that are here. What is your idea of entering the Philippine market? That's what I want you guys to ask. I want to know, what is your preconceived idea of what it is to bring your product here? And that's more like my love for trying to say, bring it here, let's help, but you still have to know what your expectations are. And I think that's what Jay was saying also at the end of the day, because there are so many ways to connect to those things. And I will read a question right off the gate, right off the bat. It says to Jay, Betty asked, hey Jay, hi Jay, are you saying that it would be best to establish my company in the US, but of course we should have a US partner like Emporium? I think ding, 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 ding on both counts. What I mean is that you hit the nail on the head, so to speak. Not just because it's Emporium, but you do still need someone that you can trust, so to speak. But yeah, that's a thought process, and that's something that also May has done to be able to do and to create businesses. But Eric, why don't you chime in a little bit and tell us what you think of that, as far as what the expectations are and what you thought of what Jay said.
Yeah, I mean, you're correct. I mean, even our office is not in charge of the whole of the US. We are actually our jurisdiction covers the southwest corner of the US. So from Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern Nevada, and Southern California, and then up to the islands, Hawaii, Guam. So and then I think the ones on this call is really focused on this area. I mean, the US is such a huge market, and we really have to segment it a number of ways. One is through geographical area. The other way of segmenting the market is to focus on a market. Like when you talk of the Filipino American market, yes, there's this concentration in the Southern California where we are. I think our jurisdiction covers at least 1.5 million Filipino Americans. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the US has 4 million Filipino Americans in total. And then that's just the Filipino Americans. But when you have a product that can cross over to the mainstream market, that's 330 million well off, high spending, especially now with all the stimulus money available. But so I guess that's one way of approaching the US market. You have to really segment it. It's a huge market, and it can be daunting. It can be overwhelming if you're just starting out. But that is why we have all of these people on board to help us. Emporium, we have all of these individuals now on this call, our resource persons now on this call. And you have our office. And aside from our office, we have other Philippine Trade and Investment Centers in San Francisco, in New York, and also in Washington, D.C. So that basically covers the whole of the U.S. So wherever you are interested, we can, at least refer you to whoever can help you. So, make sure to segment the market and make sure to do the homework, and also take advantage of all the resources available, including all the people here in this call.
Like, for example, just to add on to what you said, Eric, well said. And that's exactly what's always on my mind. And I'm always going to use Betty because she's been a very supportive of our, I'm going to use her as a perfect example because sometimes people, they like generalities, but sometimes you also like specific. Like, for example, with Betty, what I know of her product, okay, it's a health product, it's a beverage, right? That could go for not just Filipinos, people who just enjoy healthy living, right? And then it might, make seem like, oh, you need to be, it might be expensive because about health, because everything that you think it's healthy, it's expensive. So we're talking about income. We're talking about the Filipino. If you're just talking about the Filipinos who just immigrated here, or people or Filipinos that were born here, everybody has a different mindset. So that's why when I talk to Betty all the time, when I talk about marketing with her, I always force her to really be specific in who she wants. Of course, she wants everybody to test the product, but there's got to be a moment where what's the least resistance to her product. I don't know if any of you guys want to chime in on that. I'm, because right now nobody has really, I think everybody's shy, which I don't mind, only because the reality is that this video is going to be shown again so that anybody who can participate, they can watch again. So I still feel that your opinion matters, and it should be said only because it'll be seen again. And it's very, very truthful and very concise. So if you guys want to jump in, Paul, you want to say something to that? Just anybody jump in. What do you think of what Eric said?
Well, with regards to edibles, as far as the powdered drinks and all that, as long as any of these edibles are FDA approved, you have a higher chance of getting into Costco. Okay, if you wanted to get into Costco, Walmart, and these big retailers, as long as you got the product certified, USDA approved, FDA approved here in the US, you can go anywhere, you can take it anywhere, So, and heck, like I said, if it's an FDA approved, heck, we'll put it on the Filipino shopping network. But our focus is not to market to just the Filipino community. Our focus is the mainstream, everybody, and everyone in the US and other countries. I've got orders from Norway waiting for me for a product to come in so that they can place an order. So we have Filipinos everywhere in the world, Norway, Switzerland, Zurich, UK, and they're in touch with us. So the world is your oyster.
You see that, Paul, that's relevance again. And again, I'm picking on Betty because she knows me, and I really wanted to be specific. So like, again, Betty, with May's data on experiencing the product, I've always told the Philippine manufacturers, I don't care how you get it here, just get it here so people can taste it and they can say to themselves, ooh, that stuff is really good, I got to get that, where is that? And that's where May comes in, and then Ray can come in as far as knowing how to talk to possibly other distributors of the product. It's not just his own retail, because I'm sure he's got his own connection with distributors, right, Ray?
I do, yes. So I've got connections with all of the spirits distributors all throughout Southern California. So, if anyone needs help bringing their product in, and if they need distributors, and, I've got all the connections with that. I've got numbers, I got the names. If anyone needs help with distributors, I'm here to help. And like, to touch on what Paul was saying, it's not just Filipino Americans. When it comes to the Filipino rum, I noticed a lot of people who are probably not Filipino ordering it. So, and the same with the tequila market. It's mostly Americans and non-Hispanics that are ordering this. So the potential's there with Filipino products, with not just Filipinos, but all of Americans of all backgrounds and ethnicities.
I invite people to go to Emporium because I posted an article regarding, and I don't know if this is accurate, so I might get in trouble, but I found the article really interesting because supposedly there's a connection between tequila and lambanog because of the way lambanog is made. There is that technology was sort of shared. I'm not going to go beyond that because I'm not an expert, but when I read that article, I just thought of it more like, oh, hey, they like that flavor, they like the taste, they like the way it's manufactured. So lambanog could technically be well liked by non-Filipinos, you know what I mean? At the least the Hispanic community, because they understand how certain things were made, especially with the tequila. If it's awesome, it's awesome.
By the way, I wanted to bring something up. A few days ago, I was watching YouTube, right? And there's a lot of a lot of Americans, and not just Americans, but a lot of these foreigners that came from the Philippines, who resided in the Philippines for many years, who've got a, who've gotten a taste of the Philippines. Then when they come back to the U.S., they're looking out for where can I get a good, this type of food and so on. And you'll see those videos on YouTube, and they're also rated. They also commented, and they are, supporting Filipino restaurants and these products that they buy at Seafood City and Island Pacific, and they show the recipe and everything else. So it is getting popular in the mainstream industry. This is the opportunity to market your product here.
I wanna bring Jay into the fold again. Jay, again, specifically, how could you help someone like a Betty, with her products, right? Even in its simplest form, in terms of digital marketing. How could you do that?
I would create like a mini application with their products, make it interactive. From your packaging, attach a QR code, SMS text, which will basically create like a little funnel where you could see a quick video, what foods to eat it with, what you could mix it with. Maybe get like somebody who's an influencer, an actress, actor in the Philippines, or somebody out here who likes the product. Something like that, and then being able to launch it in different channels. You have to be able to test it. Definitely send it out to like all the health expos out here. You could pick a location. There's conventions everywhere. Get a representative out here to be able to market that. That's how you'll know if it's gonna sell out here before you do anything.
See, I like that, because that's what the hesitation I feel that a lot of manufacturers, and I don't blame them, in going into a new market. They almost want to feel like they want to, somebody buy the product first before they'll do anything, which to a certain degree, I agree and disagree. If you don't, if I might take some flack from that, but I'll go out there and say that, because the reality is that you can't do that. You got to get the product here somewhere first. Sample it. Somebody's got to taste it. Pictures can only do so much, or a 3D rendering of it. I don't care how amazing it is. The product's got to be here. So that initial investment has to be made to just say, okay, I'm going to just send a little bit of it so people can taste it. But to Jay's point, Jay is making a point that all technology will organize all of that thought process, like you said, like a funnel, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to get people to do, is to be aware of it, but you need to sort of guide them how to get that thing bought or sold, because we're not just here to promote awareness. We're here, hey, let's make some money. Let's sell this stuff.
I just want to bring, also, I want to bring an example. When Crocs, the sandals, the slippers, when Crocs were starting out, did you know that, because of my background in the entertainment industry and the people that I know in the entertainment industry, from the press, PR companies and so on, when Crocs was starting out, they send out samples of Crocs slippers and sandals to Halle Berry, from her to her kids and so on. I mean, these companies just send out to these people, because once these A-list celebrities start using, and they get captured, on taken, well, that's a big, huge endorsement right there. If they're wearing your Crocs, shoes, and your picture got taken, that's a big endorsement. Right? They said, look who's wearing my slippers.
See, Paul, I like that. I just feel that's why different mindsets were brought tonight, because I feel that Philippine manufacturers are concerned not only the effectiveness of it, but the cost of it, and the length of how when they'll get the rate of return on it. So that's the reason why I wanted this video to be seen by the Philippine manufacturers, so that they can get a perspective on what game they want to play. Do you want to play the short game, where you think that, by just bringing it here, all of a sudden you get a big order? Or are you going to be here to create a brand, a commitment to say, I'm going to market it here, whether I utilize May's methods or Ray's methods or Paul's methods or Jay, which ties all of those things together. And that's what I'm always trying to come across to people and just really focus in on that. We're nearing the 4-minute mark of our show. And like I said, you guys have been amazing. So I'm going to take the 4 minutes for you guys to say any parting comments about your industry, guys, Ray, Jay, and May and Paul. So, chivalry is not dead here, May. So ladies first, you want to go ahead and say something in terms of that? By the way, chivalry is not dead, it's just injured. Okay, so go ahead, May.
Yeah. Based from what everybody's been sharing, I know that the key term here is exposure. So for the products to be for the products from the Philippines, if they want it marketed here, they have to be readily available in all the platforms that we've shared, all 4 of us here. So it's very important that um, which platform you would prefer to do first, and
Okay.
show your products, expose your products to the US market with all the platforms that's available to them, to the manufacturers from the Philippines.
Thank you,
Yeah.
May. Thank you. So age before beauty. I'm just kidding. Now, Paul, you want to go ahead and make a last comment on your part about Filipino Shopping Network, and then any points of advice, please do so quickly.
Okay, well, it's like what May was saying, is that you gotta expose your product to the more people you expose your product to, the better you're off, especially if you're giving some samples away to influencers, right? So, and make sure that there's a camera handy to take their picture. They're wearing it, eating it, and using it. So
Yeah.
that's a big endorsement right there without them knowing.
Yeah,
Just make sure
exactly.
you have them get a paparazzi to follow them or something. Get your own
That's
paparazzi.
that's a good tip, sir. Appreciate that. Jay, I'll end it with Ray, but Jay, go ahead and give us some of your wisdom, my friend.
Yeah, just like I said at the beginning, create a digital foundation. Just think of word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best form of advertising. So think of attaching technology to that, and it's digital word of mouth. That is where you want to be. And then really master the power of technology and the mobile platform, because that's where the future is. And lastly, for the manufacturers, whether you're a product provider or service provider in the Philippines, start a small business out here. I'm telling you, there's so many resources here that we're giving to minority small business that you need to take advantage of. The opportunity is now, especially with all these resources and grants that are available. We can help you with that.
I'm calling you tomorrow, Jay. Okay, it takes money to promote all these products, bro. So yeah, definitely. Ray, please we'll end it with yours, and then I'll say my parting comments.
So, I know we're all here to grow Filipino businesses and bring awareness to Philippine-made products. And, but, like the others said, don't be afraid to market to non-Filipinos. There's a lot of people here in America who, non-Filipinos who know about Filipino products. Just the other day, I was at Seafood City and I saw a bunch of white people buying ube products. The word is out on ube. Everyone loves it. People love Filipino-made products. They love our desserts. They love our spirits. They love our rum. They love our food. So, get your products over here and don't be afraid to market to everyone.
Yeah, and then that's leads me back again, 2 things. There's a follow-up chat room that we're going to create so that, if you have other questions, you're watching this video and you want to join this chat room with these guys, we're creating that on Facebook. So anybody watching this, they can continue to go there. We'll create it. And we had a little incident with it. So now I'll let you know first that I actually am creating this chat room in Facebook so we can continue to communicate way beyond this 1 hour discussion. Again, there'll be a part 2 series. Again, more perspectives on different types of marketing. But now we're trying to promote the next, in 2 weeks, we're going to have another webinar. It's on logistics logistics and know how to comply with US FDA. I mean, we already did that, but I'm certain in terms of US Customs broker, how to bring in the products, whether you use a warehouse, a third-party logistics, and all of that stuff, because that's another component of all the things that we're trying to do to make it a one-stop shop, not only for Emporium, for people to know Emporium in that regards, but also for you to not to go totally crazy and trying to figure out how many people you got to talk to just to bring your product from point A to point B and how to sell this thing. And again, thank you so much for everybody watching, and as well as the panel expert. Thank you, Eric, for being here. You gave us some class. I appreciate that, bro, because now it's legitimate that somebody from the Philippine government is actually here. You don't realize how important that is to us, just for you even to just show up and invest a little bit of your time to do what we're doing. So thank you for that. And then for all the people that have watched this webinar, thank you so much, and have a good weekend, Philippines. And for everyone here in the US, have a good rest of the week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ferdinand.
Thank you.
Yeah.